The Triassic period, which took place around 252 to 201 million years ago, marked the beginning of the Mesozoic era, also called the Age of Dinosaurs. This was the period between two devastating mass extinctions that wiped out countless species and had a profound effect on the evolutionary processes on Earth. Imagine the fear and uncertainty that must have permeated the planet at a time when so many organisms struggled to adapt and survive in the face of a huge environmental change. And yet, despite these challenges, the Triassic period eventually played a pivotal role in shaping the world as we know it. A new era began with the Great Dying, also known as the Permian Triassic extinction. This was a major event that took place about 252 million years ago, at the end of the Permian period and the beginning of the Triassic period. It's considered the most significant mass extinction in Earth's history, with an estimated 96% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial species going extinct. But it was a blessing in disguise. This event paved the way for the emergence of dinosaurs and other new animals in the Mesozoic era. The exact cause of the extinction is still not fully determined, but it is believed that it was due to a combination of factors including volcanic activity, impact from meteorites, and a sudden change in the Earth's climate. Some scientists believe that the extinction event was triggered by a mass release of methane, a greenhouse gas from the ocean floor, which in turn prompted a rapid rise in global temperatures and resulted in widespread environmental change. The Great Dying had a profound effect on the evolution of life on Earth, which is what happens every time biodiversity declines. It causes something called adaptive radiation. The concept of adaptive radiation has played a significant role. The dry and warm climate, along with the breakup of the Pangaea supercontinent and the formation of the Panthalassa superocean, posed new challenges and presented new opportunities for evolution. So what is adaptive radiation? Adaptive radiation is the way different species evolve from a common ancestor. It occurs when a group of animals or planets enter a new habitat, or when a new ecological environment becomes available. As the animals and plants adjust to their new home, they may change and become different species. This process can take place over a relatively short period of time and is considered a significant driving force of evolutionary diversity. In other words, those who survived it had a whole new world with a range of ecological niches that needed to be filled. At the same time, there was practically no competition. In absence of competition, the rate of evolution increases. Once certain niches are filled, the evolutionary process slows down again. Mutations continue to occur, but since ecosystems are already occupied by other species, non-competitive species have no chance due to natural selection. One of the classic examples of adaptive radiation is the evolution of cichlid fishes in the Great Lakes of Africa, which resulted in over 3,000 species. These fish evolved into a variety of species, each adapting into their own niche in the lacustrine environment. Some cichlid species adapted to feeding on algae, while others adapted to eating insects or similar small prey. Most remarkably, the first dinosaurs appeared during the Triassic period, which quickly turned into a wide variety of different life forms, becoming the dominant land animals at the time. However, this was not always the case. Early species of dinosaurs were small bipedal creatures, similar in size and appearance to the modern lizards. Their diversity and evolution continued to expand through the Mesozoic era. There were other groups of animals that were exposed to adaptive radiation. For example, the first real birds, snakes, crocodiles, amphibians, and the first mammals. Early mammals were small and mostly nocturnal, living in the shadow of the dominant dinosaur species. This laid a good foundation for the diverse life forms that would flourish in the Mesozoic era. During the Triassic period, a group of reptiles known as archosaurs evolved. These animals are also known as ruling reptiles because they dominated the terrestrial ecosystems of the Mesozoic era. Some of these archosaurs were dinosaurs, the animals that most people think of when they hear the word archosaur. However, there were other groups of archosaurs that emerged during the Triassic period, such as crocodiles, pterosaurs, and therapsids. For simplicity, we often refer to all archosaurs as dinosaurs, although that's not entirely accurate. The reason we do this is because the term dinosaur is a well-known term used to describe a group of animals that the general public are familiar with. By using the term dinosaur, we can easily convey to the viewer the general time period and ecological context in which the animals existed. So during the Triassic period, dinosaurs evolved into a wide variety of forms and occupied a wide range of ecological niches, from herbivores to carnivores, from terrestrial to aerial. These adaptations allowed them to dominate and flourish during the Mesozoic era. Let's start our 51 million year tour with herbivorous dinosaur species. First of all, some of the most recognizable species were the majestic sauropods, long necks and large bodies perfectly adapted to be able to reach the foliage of a tall tree. These giants had small peg-like teeth that were ideal for crushing tough plant fiber. But not all herbivorous dinosaurs were as big as sauropods. Take the stegosaurs that roamed the Earth during the late Jurassic period, for example. With their characteristic rows of armored bone plates and spines, as well as long, sharp spikes on their tails, they had a very formidable appearance. This must have provided them with protection from predators. Scientists believe that the Stegosaurus had a tiny brain the size of a pea, and it was located at the base of their spine. The eyes, on the other hand, were located on the top of the head, which possibly allowed them to see predators approaching from all sides. Other herbivorous dinosaurs were pretty small in size. Compact, agile, bipedal heterodontosaurs lived during the early Jurassic, and due to their size, they could hide in the thickets. With strong legs and a long tail, these dinosaurs were well adapted to a terrestrial lifestyle. They also had a combination of sharp, cutting, and grinding teeth that allowed them to feed on a wide range of food. Their varied diet included both plants and insects. And let us not forget the ceratopsian, one of the oldest herbivorous dinosaurs. They were large herbivorous dinosaurs. Some of their remains date back to the Cretaceous period, so it seems they were able to survive the Great Dying. They ate a herbivorous diet and were well adapted to a terrestrial lifestyle with strong legs and thick armored bodies. Many of the ceratopsians had elaborate head ornaments and horns. They were used to intimidate enemies or to establish dominance in their social groups. Obviously, herbivorous dinosaurs spread seeds and fertilized the soil with their droppings, which helped ecosystems to form. They also acted as food for other animals, such as carnivorous dinosaurs, who relied on them for their livelihood. But let's take a closer look at which species could afford to eat another dinosaur. Let's move on to the second group of dinosaurs, the carnivorous species. One of the best-known groups of carnivorous dinosaurs of the Triassic period are theropods, which include species such as the Eoraptor and Dilophosaurus. Theropods were typically carnivorous or omnivorous, with long, sharp teeth, strong, agile bodies, making them excellent hunters. Many theropods also had grasping hands with sharp claws that enabled them to grab and kill their prey. Some theropods, such as the Tyrannosauridae, were the largest predators in their ecosystem, being at the top of the food chain. The largest species was Tyrannosaurus rex, one of the largest known terrestrial predators, measuring up to 40 feet in length and weighing between 8 and 14 tons, according to modern estimates. Their dietary buddy, the Allosauridae, was also fairly large carnivorous dinosaurs with rather powerful jaws, but not quite as powerful as the Tyrannosauridae. Some allosaurids were notable due to the fact that they had a crest on their head and back, for example, the Acrocanthosaurus. Other theropods, such as the pterosaurs, completely adapted to the aerial lifestyle and had wings that allowed them to fly and hunt for prey from above. Some predators were much smaller. The Herrerasauridae that lived in the early Jurassic period were no more than 13 feet long. They were agile predators that preyed on small and medium-sized animals. They would wait for their prey near small bodies of water, or they ate what was left over from larger dinosaurs. But danger awaited creatures that could not stand up for themselves, not only on land but also in water. Another group of carnivorous dinosaurs of the Triassic period are the phytosaurs, and they lived in rivers and swamps. Phytosaurs had long, narrow snouts and sharp teeth, making them well suited for hunting fish and other small aquatic prey. Despite the great similarity in appearance and lifestyle, phytosaurs are not true relatives of crocodiles. During the rainy season, small rivers and lakes expanded significantly, attracting a variety of animals. The dinosaurs of the Spinosauridae family often lived near water bodies. They also had long, narrow muzzles and sharp teeth for hunting fish, but completely different body proportions in contrast to phytosaurs. Very notably, many spinosaurids also had large spiny ridges on their heads and backs, much like a ship's sail. There's still no consensus on what role those crests played, but some theories suggest they could have been used for mating or protection. In general, carnivorous dinosaurs were very useful in controlling the population of herbivorous dinosaurs and other animal species, therefore helping to create a balanced ecosystem. Our third stop brings us to omnivorous dinosaurs. Omnivorous dinosaurs were the species that adapted to a diet that included both plant and animals, allowing them to take advantage of a wide variety of food sources in their environment. One of the best-known groups of omnivorous dinosaurs of the Triassic period were the aforementioned theropods. Most theropods were carnivores, however, some species may also have been foraging or supplementing their diet with plant matter. Another group among the omnivorous dinosaurs of the Triassic period were ornithischia. Ornithischia were generally herbivorous, but some species may have been omnivores. They fed on a mixture of plants and small animals. These included species such as the Heterodontosaurs, Pisanosaurus, and Dryosauridae. In general, they were small bipedal dinosaurs, slightly larger than a dog, having a mixture of sharp cutting and grinding teeth, allowing them to feed on a wide range of foods and thus help them survive in difficult times. With such a wide variety of predators, some species had to search for new habitats in order to survive. Some dinosaurs, such as the Ankylosaurus, adapted to a burrowing lifestyle and lived underground. These dinosaurs had armored plates on their bodies that provided protection from predators. Their short, stocky legs made them great at digging, and interestingly, this species had a club-shaped tail, which it may have been used as a weapon for self-defense. The small bipedal dinosaurs from the Silosauridae family of the late Triassic and early Jurassic periods were also representatives of burrowing dinosaurs. They likely used their sharp claws and powerful muscles to dig holes and create underground layers where they could hide from predators and escape the extreme weather conditions that ravaged their world. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a tree-dwelling dinosaur? Well, during the Triassic period, some dinosaurs adapted to life above ground, not unlike modern birds. One of the most famous groups of arboreal dinosaurs of the Triassic period were the Drepanosaurus. These small, mobile dinosaurs were only about 20 inches in size and lived throughout the late Triassic and early Jurassic period. Drepanosaurids had long, slender bodies and short, powerful legs, making them well suited for climbing and traversing trees. They had a unique skeletal structure that allowed them to move their arms and legs in a similar manner to modern birds. At the same time, Drepanosaurus had a set of bizarre, almost chameleon-like skeletal features. They likely used their sharp claws and strong muscles to climb trees and move along branches where they could find food and shelter. There was another group of tree-dwelling dinosaurs, the Scansoriopter rigidae. These small, feathered dinosaurs lived during the late Jurassic and had long, flexible tails that helped them maintain their balance while climbing and moving in the trees. Additionally, Scansoriopter rigids had a row of long, skinny fingers with sharp claws that enabled them to cling to tree branches and other objects. It is believed that Scansoriopter rigids may have even been able to glide through the air, flying between trees, which in turn means that flight did not originate bottom up, when terrestrial theropod dinosaurs gained the ability to fly, but instead it may have developed top down, where archosaurs acquired feathers. As life flourished on land, it also raged in the aquatic environment. Aquatic dinosaurs adapted to life in the water and could live in a variety of aquatic habitats, from shallow rivers and swamps to deep ocean water. One of the best-known aquatic dinosaurs of the Triassic period were the ichthyosaurs, a species of marine reptiles that resemble modern dolphins in appearance. Ichthyosaurs had streamlined bodies, flippers, and a dorsal fin, making them well-suited for swimming and hunting in the open ocean. Ichthyosaurs had sharp teeth, and they were likely predators, feeding on a variety of marine animals, including fish and cephalopods. The ichthyosaurs shared the seas with the Sauropterygia, a diverse family of marine reptiles. They came in a wide variety of shapes and sizes, from small, agile swimmers to large, slow-moving predators. The Sauropterygia had a unique respiratory system that allowed them to extract oxygen from the water using their gills. Some Sauropterygians, such as plesiosaurs, had complex gill structure that was supported by a series of small bones, while others, such as the Nothosaurus, had simpler gills that were supported by the walls of their throat. This allowed the species to leave the land in favor of the ocean water with their abundance of food sources. Another group of aquatic dinosaurs in the Triassic period were the plesiosaurs. They were marine reptiles with long necks, short tails, and large paddle-like limbs. Some of these giants were up to 65 feet in size. Plesiosaurs were well adapted to swimming, which made them efficient at hunting prey in the water. Large species of plesiosaurs fed on a variety of marine reptiles, including other plesiosaurs, sharks, and other large prey. Some plesiosaurs would sometimes catch flying pangolins, one of the long-necked plesiosaurs discovered by paleontologists that was preserved in the remains of its last meal in its stomach, which included the corpse of a flying lizard, fish bones, and an ammonite shell. Plesiosaurs also shared the vast seawater with smaller reptiles such as thalattosaurs, and they lived during the late Triassic and early Jurassic periods. These species also had long, slender bodies and paddle-like limbs. They reached a maximum of 10 feet in length. Thalattosaurs were likely predators that fed on a variety of small marine animals, including fish and cephalopods. An interesting thing about thalattosaurs was their unique way of hunting. They used their long, flexible neck to attack prey from a distance, utilizing their sharp teeth to grab and hold prey. There were also semi-aquatic reptiles, such as the Nothosaurus. They lived in the late Triassic and early Jurassic periods. Nothosaurus had a long and flexible body with webbed limbs that can be used for both land locomotion and swimming. This made them well suited for navigating and hunting in shallow water. They had a row of small, sharp teeth arranged in a sieve pattern that helped them filter small prey out of the water. In general, the ecological niches occupied by different types of dinosaurs during the Triassic period were very diverse, as were the species that inhabited them. This is clearly reflected in the wide range of physical adaptations that allowed creatures to thrive in such a wide variety of habitats. The end-Triassic extinction, also known as the Triassic-Jurassic extinction, was a major event that occurred about 201 million years ago, marking the end of the Triassic and the beginning of the Jurassic periods. This event is considered one of the 5 major mass extinctions in Earth's history and, like others, it had a significant impact on the evolution of life on Earth. In short, this event was the result of several factors combined. One of the theories about the cause of the Permian mass extinction is that it was the result of the formation of the supercontinent Pangaea, which could have caused changes in ocean circulation and climate. As the continent formed, Earth's climate became more arid. The formation of the new continent was accompanied by a huge seismic and volcanic activity, which could also lead to the release of large amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere and cause a rapid increase in global temperatures. This theory is supported by the presence of large volcanic eruptions and extensive lava flow in the mountain records from the period. But no matter what we assume about its causes, about 3/4 of all animal species that existed at the time died out on planet Earth once more. And this event once again provided an opportunity for the development of new species. This time, dinosaurs will take lead among all other animals. In our next video, we'll tell you how they survived and what fate awaited them in the future. "201 million years ago, the world was plunged into darkness. The great Triassic-Jurassic extinction swept through the planet, destroying countless species that lived peacefully on Earth at that time. Just imagine this time of chaos and destruction, a turning point in the history of our planet, a time when 3/4 of all animal species perished, leaving a barren world behind. But from the ashes, a new world arose, where dinosaurs roamed the land, sea, and sky. They were the guardians of a mysterious and wonderful world that was just starting to unfold, the guardians of a new time known as the Jurassic period. This time, dinosaurs will dominate over all other animals. Although the exact timeline of their evolution is unclear, it's estimated that dinosaurs first emerged in the late Triassic and dominated the world for over 160 million years. These ancient creatures presented as various reptile groups that adapted to different environments, like herbivores who developed to a large size to reach the foliage, carnivores who evolved to have sharp teeth and claws to hunt prey, and aviary dinosaurs, which had wings. Various adaptations allowed dinosaurs to occupy a wide range of habitats and ecological niches, which made them great contenders for the available resources. The success of dinosaurs in the Jurassic can be attributed to several factors, including their ability to reproduce quickly, their adaptability to changing environmental conditions, and their tendency to live in groups. There are several theories that explain the evolution of dinosaurs during the Jurassic period. Some scientists believe that dinosaurs evolved from a group of reptiles called thecodonts, while others argue that they evolved from reptiles known as archosaurs. Regardless of their exact origin, it is certain that the number of dinosaurs grew rapidly and diversified into a wide range of species, leaving their mark on the world as one of the most successful and resilient creatures in the history of planet Earth. Let's start our journey through the Jurassic period with sauropods, the giants that were roaming the Earth in search of food at the time. These massive herbivores, reaching up to 100 feet in length, were a truly wonderful sight. They were among the largest land animals to have ever existed. Despite their size, they were herbivorous animals that fed on vegetation using their peg-like teeth. Sauropods have been the subject of attention among many paleontologists, and their fossils have been found all over the world. One of the representatives of the Sauropodae family that lived in the late Jurassic period was the Apatosaurus. These dinosaurs were characterized by long necks and tails, large bodies, and small heads. Apatosaurus was a herbivore that could grow up to 75 feet long and weighed over 30 tons. Its long neck allowed it to reach the tallest trees, which allowed it to feed on leaves and branches, while its massive body was supported by strong pillar-like legs. One of the most notable features of Apatosaurus was its whip-like tail, which could have been used for defense against predators. Some paleontologists believe that Apatosaurus used its long tail to signal other members of the group, while others believe it was used to scare off predators. Apatosaurus was one of the most common sauropods in North America. The fossils of this species have been found in several locations in the western United States, including Colorado, Oklahoma, and Wyoming. Translated from Greek, its name means deceptive lizard. This is a reference to early paleontologists who originally thought that the bones belonged to a different type of dinosaur. Despite its large size and presence, Apatosaurus remains one of the least known dinosaurs. Another representative of the sauropod group is the Diplodocus. This genus of dinosaurs inhabited North America during the late Jurassic period, around 145 to 156 million years ago. It had a long neck and a whip-like tail. Diplodocus was one of the longest dinosaurs that we know of, reaching a length of up to 100 feet. Diplodocus had a small head with a narrow, elongated snout and a jaw filled with spike-like teeth, suggesting that they were herbivorous. They are famous for their distinctive tail, which consisted of 80 vertebrae and may have been used for balance, protection, or even used as a weapon. Despite their large size, Diplodocus were relatively lightweight due in part to thin bones and air-filled cavities. This allowed them to move more easily and efficiently than other sauropods of this size. Diplodocus was first discovered in 1877 by paleontologist Othniel Charles Marsh, who named the genus after the double-beam chevron bones using Greek terms for double, diplos, and beam, dokos. Diplodocus fossils were found in the Morrison Formation. That's a geological formation in the western United States that was a key site for dinosaur discoveries in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Today, Diplodocus remains one of the most recognizable and popular dinosaurs, with casts and models of this dinosaur present in many museums and exhibitions around the world. Along with the large herbivorous sauropods, there were carnivorous dinosaurs, ferocious hunters that relied on the consumption of other creatures for their survival. It was a delicate balance, with peaceful giants and voracious hunters playing their parts in the great ecosystem of the ancient world. Theropods were an impressive group of carnivorous dinosaurs that once roamed the earth as the very embodiment of fear and power. Equipped with massive jaws full of razor-sharp teeth, these apex predators were at the top of the food chain and dominated the Jurassic ecosystem. Despite their diversity in size and shape, theropods showed no mercy when they hunted their prey. Their impressive speed and agility made it easy for them to deal even with the strongest creatures, leaving those who got in their way no chance to escape. Theropods are a testament to the ferocity of prehistoric life and the complex balance of nature during the Jurassic. Allosaurus was a large theropod dinosaur that lived during the late Jurassic, about 156 to 145 million years ago. It was one of the most dominant predators of its time, living in North America, modern-day Portugal, and possibly Africa. Allosaurus was a bipedal dinosaur with a huge body and powerful legs. It had a distinctive skull with large, sharp serrated teeth and a deep jaw for powerful bites. Paleontologists estimate that it reached up to 32 feet in length and weighed between 2 and 5 tons. It was an efficient hunter with long hind limbs and a flexible body, perfect for quick movements and sharp turns. The forelimbs were much smaller than the hind limbs. Additionally, this dinosaur had 3 fingers with sharp claws on each hand. Allosaurus became known thanks to several well-preserved skeletons found in North America, including the famous Big Owl specimen from the Morrison Formation in Wyoming. Scientists have been able to learn a lot about its anatomy and behavior from these fossils, including the fact that it was a solitary hunter that relied on its keen senses and physical ability to capture prey. It is believed to have preyed on other large dinosaurs such as sauropods and stegosaurus, since some fossils of the aforementioned dinosaurs have been found with bite marks that match the Allosaurus teeth. Ceratosaurus was another theropod dinosaur that gave the name to the entire Ceratosauria family. Ceratosaurus was one of the first identified members of that dinosaur group. They were characterized by a unique horn-like structure on their snout that varied in size and shape between the species. They were also known for their large, sharp teeth and strong skulls. Some ceratosaurs had short, deep skulls with small brains and powerful jaw muscles, while others had longer, thinner skulls with longer muzzles. Ceratosaurs were carnivorous dinosaurs that likely preyed on other dinosaurs and small mammals. They lived in a wide variety of habitats, including forests, deserts, and savannas, and could be found all over the world. Ceratosaurus species range from small, agile hunters, such as Ceratosaurus and Proceratosaurus, to larger, more robust animals living in later periods, such as Carnotaurus and Abelisaurus. Despite the variety of adaptations and body types, all ceratosaurs had common origin and were closely related to each other. Today, Ceratosaurus are considered one of the most intriguing dinosaurs of the Mesozoic era. While theropods roamed around Jurassic World and kept its other inhabitants in fear with their mere presence, a new player appeared on the scene. This new breed of dinosaur was unlike any other, with an arsenal of defenses that allowed them to stand their ground even against the most ferocious hunters. Not only were they unsuitable as their prey, they were also a serious handicap to their hunting tactics. Stegosaurus, with their unique bony plates and spines, were some of the most recognizable dinosaurs of the Jurassic period. These herbivorous dinosaurs led a peaceful life, roaming the land in search of vegetation in order to feed. Despite their relatively small size and slow movement, they were heavily built and could use their bone plate and spine to defend themselves against predators. Stegosaurus played one of the key roles in maintaining balance within the Jurassic ecosystem, consuming large amounts of vegetation and distributing seed. These ancient creatures are a testament to the diversity of life that existed during the Jurassic period. Hesperosaurus were a remarkable genus of Stegosaurus dinosaurs that lived about 150 million years ago during the late Jurassic period. They were first described in 2006 when their fossils were found in the Morrison Formation in western North America. The dinosaur was a large quadrupedal herbivore. It was also a heavily armored dinosaur with large plates on its back, spikes on its tail, and small bony plates on its arms, hips, and legs, which were used for body temperature regulation and protection against predators. About 20 feet long and weighing up to 1,500 pounds, Hesperosaurus were a true force of nature, with a bulky body and a small head that resulted in a very distinctive appearance. Their forelimbs were short and stout, while their hind limbs were longer and leaner, which allowed them to move easily across the prehistoric landscape. They had a long, stiff tail and small head with a beak-like mouth. The unique spikes on their tail were long and wide, running in 2 rows. These spines were likely used for defense, helping to protect these dinosaurs from predators. Additionally, the spikes may have been used to attract mates or scare off rivals. The exact diet of Hesperosaurus dinosaurs remains a mystery, but they're believed to have fed on low-lying vegetation like ferns and horsetail, using their beak-shaped mouth to cut through the vegetation. Despite its relatively recent discovery and ongoing debate about its precise classification, it is usually counted as a primitive Stegosaurus, closely related to the other dinosaurs in the group. Kentrosaurus was another member of the Stegosaurus dinosaur group that lived during the late Jurassic, about 156 to 145 million years ago, in the savannas of the African continent. Kentrosaurus were a relatively small species with a compact, stocky body supported by 4 legs. The front legs were shorter than the hind legs, which gave the animal a slanted posture similar to its relatives. Kentrosaurus were about 20 feet long and weighed around 1.5 tons. Despite their relatively small size, they had spiked armor that ran in 2 parallel rows along their back, consisting of large bone plates as well as smaller spikes protruding from their thighs, tail, and neck. These defensive structures scared off predators as well as protected the vulnerable lower abdomen of the Kentrosaurus. In fact, the armor is the reason the dinosaur was given its name, meaning prickle lizard. That's in reference to its sharp bone spikes, some of which could be over 20 inches long. In addition to the bone armor, Kentrosaurus are also known for their distinctive skull. They had a narrow skull with large triangular teeth that were perfectly designed for cutting through rough vegetation. They also had a large, bony brow ridge that protected their eyes from the branches of the trees and shrubs that they fed on. With the landscape of the Jurassic constantly changing, the evolution of dinosaurs continued. While the Stegosaurus sported their bony armor as a weapon against predators, a new breed of herbivorous dinosaurs, the ornithopod, emerged. Ornithopods were a diverse group of bipedal dinosaurs that inhabited various regions of the globe during the late Jurassic. Due to their flexible and varied diet, these herbivores were some of the most numerous and successful dinosaurs of their time. They were characterized by a light and agile body, which allowed them to outmaneuver larger predators and efficiently forage for food in their surroundings. Despite their generally small size, they were highly adaptable, varying greatly in anatomy and diet depending on particular species and environment. Camptosaurus were a genus of herbivorous ornithopod dinosaurs that lived during the late Jurassic period, about 155 to 145 million years ago. They were first identified in 1879, when the remains of this dinosaur have been found in what is now North America and Europe. Camptosaurus was a large dinosaur reaching 26 feet in length and weighing up to 1,700 pounds. It had a long neck, a large head with a beak-like snout, and a massive body. Its hind legs were much longer than its front legs, giving it a distinctly forward-leaning posture. Camptosaurus had a number of distinctive physical characteristics that set it apart from other ornithopod dinosaurs. It had a long, narrow head with large forward-facing eyes and a mouthful of sharp, serrated teeth. Its body was relatively stocky with a broad, barrel-shaped chest and short, powerful legs. The feet were equipped with strong, hook-like claws that were used to cling to the ground while scavenging for food. Camptosaurus was primarily herbivorous and adapted to eating low-growing vegetation. Its beak-shaped snout was ideal for trimming tough leaves and stems, and its complex jaw muscles allowed it to easily grind the plant material. It is believed that they lived in groups and roamed the lush Jurassic forest in search of food. Another representative of the ornithopod dinosaur, Dinosaurs. They lived at the end of the Jurassic period, about 155 to 145 million years ago. This was a small bipedal herbivore perfectly adapted to the arid and seasonal habitats of present-day North America and Europe. Dinosaurs were characterized by long, thin legs and a tail that helped them maintain balance and move quickly. Their long neck and small head allowed them to reach vegetation at ground level or low shrubs. Dinosaurs had large, flat teeth that were ideal for chewing through tough vegetation, and their jaw structure was specifically designed for processing plant matter. One of the most notable features of Dinosaurs was their lightweight construction, which allowed them to be fast and agile. Their hind legs had a unique joint structure that provided increased agility and stability. This was essential for escaping large predators such as the Allosaurus, which would pose a huge threat to Dinosaurs in its natural habitat. Their body was supposedly covered with feathers, which helped them regulate temperature and adapt to various habitats and climates. Today, Dinosaurs remains an important part of the fossil record, providing valuable information about the evolution of ornithopod dinosaurs in late Jurassic ecosystems. As the Jurassic period unfolded, a new group of creatures took to the skies. The ornithopods continued to thrive on the ground, but now they shared the landscape with the majestic pterosaurs, who, thanks to their powerful wingspan, became the masters of the skies. Pterosaurs, also known as pterodactyls, were flying reptiles that dominated the skies of the ancient world of the Mesozoic era. Their fossils have been found on every continent, and they came in a wide range of shapes and sizes, from small and agile to large and intimidating. These creatures had light skeletons and leathery wings which allowed them to soar through the air with ease. With wingspans that could reach up to 40 feet, pterosaurs were masters of airspace, gliding and soaring with grace and power. Since they came in a range of sizes and shapes, pterosaurs occupied a wide variety of ecological niches, from the sky above the oceans to the deserts and ancient forest. Despite their uniqueness, the exact nature and extent of their flying ability, as well as their relationship to other dinosaurs, remains the subject of ongoing scientific debate. Dimorphodon was a genus of early pterosaurs that roamed the skies of the ancient world 201 to 175 million years ago during the early to middle Jurassic. It was first described by the English paleontologist Richard Owen in 1859, being one of the first pterosaurs to be scientifically defined and named. It was a relatively small dinosaur with a wingspan of approximately 3 to 4 feet, making it one of the smallest members of the pterosaur family. But what Dimorphodon lacked in size, it made up for with impressive features. Dimorphodon was a predator species known for its long, narrow jaws and sharp teeth, which were well suited for catching small prey like insects, reptiles, and small mammals. It had wings made of skin stretched between long, bony fingers, as well as short and strong legs with large claws. The species lived in coastal regions near the sea and depended on thermal air current and ocean current to stay aloft for a long period of time. Despite the fact that the Dimorphodon fossils are rare, they've been found in England, Portugal, and Germany, which means it must have had a fairly common species around the world. Another genus of long-tailed pterosaurs, Rhamphorhynchus, inhabited Earth around 150 million years ago. They were a small pterosaur with a unique beak riddled with needle-like teeth, long jaw bones, and a diamond-shaped skin flap known as the uropatagium, and that connected its legs and tail. This structure provided additional surface area for flight and allowed the Rhamphorhynchus to make sudden changes in direction and altitude. Their wingspan reached 6 feet, making it one of the smallest pterosaurs of its time. Rhamphorhynchus was a highly specialized flyer designed for gliding and soaring through the air in search of fish, insects, and other small prey. They had a long, slender body, a small, light skull, and it allowed them to deftly maneuver in the air and make quick and agile turns. Their long tail was reinforced with a series of bones and was likely used for stability and control during flight. In addition to the aerial ability, Rhamphorhynchus is also notable for their well-preserved fossil records. Many complete skeletons have been found in the fossil-rich sedimentary rocks of Europe and Africa, making it one of the most famous pterosaurs from the late Jurassic period. Their fossils provide vital information about the evolution of flying creatures and the ecology of these ancient airborne reptiles. The Jurassic ended approximately 145 The Cretaceous period was the time of the rapid development for the dinosaurs. Across the world, these ancient creatures have evolved into many impressive forms, each one fighting for dominance in the battle for survival. The Cretaceous was a time when some of the most awe-inspiring herbivores and most terrifying predators roamed the planet. Imagine a towering Argentinosaurus reaching a height of 7 stories, a formidable Carcharodontosaurus that looks even more threatening than the name suggests, or a heavily armored Ankylosaurus, armed with a club-shaped tail. None of these creatures were willing to give up an inch, and the competition never ceased, as there was an endless struggle for the right to survive. Only the strongest and toughest species could secure a place at the top of the food chain. But this great era of dinosaur domination ended abruptly and catastrophically with a truly harrowing event that led to the tragic extinction of most dinosaur species and forever changed the course of life on Earth.